Now, Ryan, I actually have some good news, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we got a question, dog. We got a question, man.
Really? From who?
From Roach McPoach. His Twitter handle is @Roach McPoach. And I do want to take this time to remind everybody that you can ask us any question, even if it's about Ryan's underwear, on Twitter @ByteThatCast. Remember, that is Bytethat with a Y. Ryan, you ready for the question?
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
It's, what do you think the WWE will do once John Cena retires? It's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually something we've talked about off air. Honestly, what will WWE do once John Cena retires?
So who goes first? You want to flip a coin for this or what?
Do you have a coin?
No.
You know what? You go first, man. Whatever. Just go.
Okay. I'm going to assume, like, should we set, like, an arbitrary time for when he retires? Like, let's say 5 years or something?
I know, let's actually step it up a notch. 2 ways. One, John Cena gets injured in a year and has to retire. And another one, he's gone into 5 years. Just,
okay.
He retires just casually or whatever.
Mm-hmm. See, it's kind of my thinking that by the time John Cena retires, I think CM Punk will also already be retired. You would hope that they would have somebody, assuming it's the 5 years or 10 years down the line. God help us if it's 10 years. Assuming it's that far down the line, you would have to think by then they've already had someone built up before he even leaves. It's sort of like how Triple H had his time in the spotlight, and now he's like, even though he's not retired, he's kind of stepped down from that role. And obviously, I think that's the way WWE would want it, is that once Cena kind of gets to a point where they've got this new guy coming in, they'll start, bringing Cena down to being, he'll wrestle less. He'll have like the Shawn Michaels type of schedule that he had towards the end. So all that kind of going on. So they'll probably want to work towards building somebody up, within the next few years. They're going to have to, because Daniel Bryan's not that young either. So they really got to find that young guy to bring up, someone like a
Darren?
I was going to say, the first person not oddly, but the first person interesting enough that comes to mind who's young and would be like sort of WWE's guy. Take a guess. See if you can guess who I think they should bring up as the guy.
Mike Sanders?
Nope. All right, Roman Reigns I think is the guy that I would bring up as build towards being the guy. He's young, he's a big guy, he's got a good look to him. So this is someone that they feel is marketable. They build him up to be the next guy. I think it works. I mean, obviously he's got work to do to get to that point, but I would start building up somebody like him or, somebody else in the next few years, because John Cena isn't going to be around forever as much as Vince McMahon would love him to be. In the event that let's say Cena goes down with the injury, Daniel Bryan is your guy. You get Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, CM Punk. You gotta have them carry the show. You don't have a choice at that point, and obviously you're gonna be scrambling to build somebody else new. I mean, when Lesnar left, I mean, who was the guy during that period? They built up 2 new stars, Batista and Cena. They'll just, someone has to go on the fast track to be the next guy. So that was a lot of scatterbrained thoughts. So if you want to, I didn't answer that as articulately as I would have liked to, but I think you get the idea. So go for it.
Before I state my point, I think you pretty much nailed the head on it, just about everything. If Cena were to retire in 5 or 10 years or whatever, the Shield pretty much is the future of the WWE. You have the Triple H, the mean guy or whatever, in Dean Ambrose. You have the Randy Orton / Jeff Hardy / maybe even John Cena guy in Seth Rollins. And then you have the Batista / Brock Lesnar guy in Roman Reigns. So those 3 guys actually fit the role of every single guy that has had the WWE on their back for the past 10 years or so. The problem is, how do you make it so fans care? I think that Seth Rollins is definitely going to be the breakout star first because he's the guy with that's more high flyer stuff and all that based on his stuff and his work in Ring of Honor. But I think that's where it goes. I don't think the transition is going to be as smooth as before because of what you said. CM Punk is probably going to retire before Cena even does. We don't even know if CM Punk is going to be around for 3 years, let alone 5 or 10. I don't see CM Punk in the WWE in 5 years. So before you can even answer Cena, I would be, who would you have as the anti-hero to the hero in John Cena? Because you always need that guy. Triple H was that guy, but he's no longer the case. Now we have CM Punk. Stone Cold used to be that guy, but once again, that needs to be filled, and I don't think there's a guy like that in the company. Now, if John Cena were to be
Ambrose as the anti-hero, I could see. I mean, I know he works well as the heel, but he could absolutely be an anti-hero type of guy too.
No, I definitely see that, but there's a difference. At least if I go based on Dean Ambrose's work in the independent scene, I saw a lot of his promos as John Moxley and all that. And even though he's the anti-hero, he's not the CM Punk style. Mm-hmm. When Stone Cold was the anti-hero, he was loudmouth, he was crazy. He was
Corey Graves. Is he your guy, Corey Graves?
I will punch you in the face, man, if you say Corey Graves. How dare you, man?
CM Punk Jr.
You know what? Stay down. Don't make me get a piece of paper, Ryan. Stay down, boy. But Stone Cold and CM Punk are these loud guys. They're up here. Dean Ambrose falls into the Bray Wyatt category. He's the passive anti-hero. He's not the guy that when you switch channels, you'll see him be like the smirky guy and all that. If I go based on his independent work for the most part. Who knows? Maybe I'm terribly wrong. But based on what I'm seeing, he's just a different type. And I don't think he replaces CM Punk. I think he creates the opposite of or similar guy to CM Punk. Now, if Cena were to get injured, man, I have no clue. Honestly, I don't think WWE is in any way, shape, or form prepared. Honestly, I'd go as far as to think that WWE doesn't have faith in Randy based on the storyline because this question sort of leads me to the main storyline on Raw. The guy would technically be Randy Orton, but Randy Orton, he's had multiple strikes in the past when it comes to being suspended. He's had, he can't even hit a clothesline correctly because of the issues he's had throughout the years with his body and wrestling. And now it seems like Big Show Triple H is the main feud in the company as opposed to Bryan and Randy. So once again, it's almost like we're both going back in time because the main two guys in the company are the same two guys that have been at the top for years. It's almost like we're backtracking or something. So I don't think WWE is ready for a company without John Cena. And I think if they handle the Shield correctly and groom Roman Reigns, because for Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose to get over, you need the guy opposite to that. The same way Batista broke out because of Triple H, they need that chemistry. And I think they have that as a tag team, but I don't know if they have that as a rivalry.
Okay.
So we'll definitely have to wait to see what that happens.
So I'll throw this last one at you it's the Shield. You got to pick one guy out of the Shield who does become the face of the company.
Roman Reigns, easily.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're a professional wrestling company, and if you see Roman Reigns, who doesn't think that's a professional wrestler right there, or that guy could be a professional wrestler? He's you got to go with the big, larger than life built guy who just has that look like he could mess somebody up. And John Cena, he's a freak of nature, especially the way he recovers and all that. So I think he's definitely someone to take the reins, if you will.
No, and there's so many ways you can take Roman Reigns to the top. You can make reference to his heritage, to the fact that he's related to The Rock. He appeals to a more broader audience in the way that there's the multicultural aspect. He's the powerhouse. Like, there are so many ways you can get him. Dean Ambrose is kind of like Triple H when Triple H, I don't think he ever really carried the company, but he was the guy that made sure the company was there. When Stone Cold and The Rock left, Triple H was there to pick it up. I don't think Dean Ambrose can run the company, but he can sure as hell pick it up. And then Seth Rollins can entertain the woman, he can entertain the high flyer fans, he can entertain the kiddies, and everybody. Like, he's the Jeff Hardy replacement, really. But how does WWE take it step by step? We're just gonna have to wait and find out.